we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Moore.
Thank you so much. Well, it's a fine Friday group. Thank you, Johnny Olson, and welcome, friends, to Tell the Truth. Our first guest today certainly wouldn't think much of little Miss Muffet, because far from being frightened of spiders, she adores spiders. She just loves them. And we're going to meet this interesting woman in a moment as soon as we say hello to our creepy panel here on To Tell the Truth.
Bill Cullen. Betsy Palmer. Orson Bean. And Kitty Carlisle.
I don't know whether you guys can hear backstage or not before you come on. I mentioned Miss Muffet. Does anybody know what... We always talk about curds and whey.
Oh, yeah. Little Miss Muffet
Curds
used to
and
do
whey.
those big.
What are curds and whey? Who knows?
Milk.
I know it is.
Milk,
Right.
clotted milk and cream, and whey is like a cereal, like a porridge.
No, no.
No,
Whey
no.
is the
whey
water
is
after
the
the
top
curd.
part
No.
of the curd.
I happened to look it up before we went on. When you're making cheese out of milk,
Right.
you get a coagulated or hard part. That is the curds, and the milky part
Is the
is
whey.
the
That's
whey.
what I said.
What's a tuffet?
A tuffet is something you sit on.
But what is it? I mean, aside from...
It's
Well,
like
you
a
can't-
hassock.
Her tuffet.
You can't say on the air.
Yes, you can.
It's a hassock.
Oh, I looked it up, too. It's a piece of fragmented rock.
A tough.
You may not enjoy the show, friends, but you're certainly going to learn a lot.
That's a spider.
Now you're getting beyond me. Let us meet our spider lady.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Anne Morton.
Number two.
My name is Ann Morton.
Number three.
My name is Ann Morton.
All right, our job is to find out which one of these ladies is indeed Ann Morton, and here's the story. I, Ann Morton, love spiders. I have studied and photographed them for years. Contrary to what many people think, spiders are not insects. They are wingless arachnids. Nor are most spiders aggressive. They are good conservationists at heart. They actually help man by eating insects that are harmful to crops. Although it may sound silly to say that spiders have a sense of beauty, it's a fact that you always find them in beautiful places. I have gone spider hunting all over the U.S. and made a collection of various spiders for Harvard University. Here are 3 pictures I particularly like. The first is a crab spider. Normally, crab spiders are white, but when they sit on a yellow flower for 7 days, they turn yellow. The second shows a jumping spider. They have eyes on the back of their heads and have 8 eyes in all. And the last is a shot of a golden garden spider spinning her egg case or sac. I am thrilled to say that this fall my pictures will be on exhibition at the Museum of Natural History and later will be shown at the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. Signed, Ann Morton. And while we get ready to spin a few questions, let's pay a few bills to the Webbs. Now, the project is to find out which of these 3 ladies is really Ann Morton, photographer of spiders. And we'll start the questioning with Betsy Palmer, who loves spiders, I'm sure.
As a matter of fact, I do. I'm very fond of insects. No, I really am. I've always been fascinated by insects and spiders and things.
There's a roach by your foot.
Couldn't care less. Miss Morton, number 2, Mrs. Morton, there is a book by E.B. White all about a spider. Do you know the name of that spider? Number 2.
Oh, the garden flower spider.
Number 3, what's the name of E.B. White's spider?
Oh, the spider's web.
And number 1, what's the name of that spider?
The black dragon.
Now then.
Okay.
Would you, number 3, describe to me what a spider's egg looks like and where?
Oh, a spider's egg may be round, or it could be the shape of an aspirin. They're different shapes.
What color are they, number 2?
Black with white dots.
Thank you, Betsy, and let's go to Orson.
Yes, number one, a question of a technical nature. There is a certain species of spider where immediately following, how shall I put it, the marital embrace, the lady spider eats her husband to death. Yeah, she works up an appetite. What do I know? No, he expires as a grand finale, or possibly an encore. What? In your own words, number one.
That is quite true.
Yes,
Actually,
I know.
most of the females eat their males, and they are the start of the women's liberation movement, you know.
Number three, what is an arachnid? What is an arachnid if it is not an insect?
An arachnid is a spider.
Well, I know, but you say it's not technically an insect, it's an arachnid.
Oh, well, a spider's body is divided into two parts, and it has 8 legs.
But isn't an arachnid an insect, technically?
No.
But does it mean
Arachnid
he
is
could
not
come
an
in here?
insect.
He could come in here if he had a ticket then.
Certainly, if you wanted to, we let him in. Write in for tickets first, though, all you arachnids. Let's go, please, to Kitty.
Number 2, what other kind of arachnids are there besides spiders?
Well, there are scorpions is a relative of the
Thank
an
you.
arachnid.
Number 1, what is describe a black widow spider, and is it really dangerous?
In this country, there are only 2 spiders that have a considerable amount of poison. That's the black widow and the violin fiddler, the fiddler.
Thank you. Number 3, is it really a dangerous spider?
Yes, it is, because it'll make you real sick.
And number 2, why has so much folklore grown up around the spider? There are all kinds of sayings. If you see one in the morning, it means sadness. If you see him in the evening, it's hope. What does all that come from?
Oh, it stems from the time ballads were sung, like Little Miss Muffet and the story of...
Thank you, Kitty, and let's go to Bill Cullen.
Number 3, what is a yellow retirer?
The yellow retire.
Yes, ma'am.
I never heard of it.
Number 2, what is a brown recluse?
Well, that's one of the poisonous arachnids.
It is?
Yes.
I didn't have it.
Son of a gun.
Number 1, are there any spiders whose bite is definitely fatal to a normal, healthy adult?
It is said that these 2 spiders that we discussed are poisonous, but can be treated. The victim can be treated. However, if it's a child or it's an elderly person, it might be fatal.
Number 3, if you had a place where spiders abound, where are you apt to find a black widow spider? I mean, where do they hang out?
Well, in a storeroom or in a fence or perhaps in a windowsill on the outside of your house.
Thank you.
Okay, that does us in. I don't know if we learned anything or not. We're going to find out. Mark our ballots. Why don't you mark yours at home? Pretend. Would you vote for number 1? Would you vote for number 2? Or would you perhaps vote for number 3? It would cost you $50 if your vote was wrong. It would cost you $500 if all of the votes are wrong. And Betsy, spider lover, you begin.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm sorry that you don't know E.B. White's book called Charlotte's Web, and whoever's the spider lady, you must read it. But I voted for lady number 1 because anybody who's got such a happy face has got to love spiders. That's all.
Hey, 1 vote for a happy face. And Orson has created a monster or a spider, or what have you done there?
I've been a fan of spiders ever since them old Sabu pictures. They had them big furry jobs that came out of holes in walls. And I used to do big Sabu imitations. He sounds very much like Paul Henreid. However, I found there wasn't a big call for it.
So you refused to do it, but you voted for 1.
Yes.
All right, it's 2 for 1.
Well,
And
I
we go to
thought they
Kitty.
were all very good. I'm surprised about Charlotte's Web, too. But I think number 3 knew what it was, but got a little confused and said the spider's web. So I voted for number 3.
So, and on that juncture, we go to Bill.
Well, number 3 was very much up on her spider lore. But number 1 had that story about the Black Widow started a women's liberation movement, and I figure she's used that before in lectures, so for that reason, I voted for number 1.
All right, we're going to find out whether number 1 and whether that was a stock joke or whether she made it up. Votes are all in. Will the real Ann Morton please stand up? There you go. Ms. Morton, we'll be back to you in a moment, and back to some spiders, too, so don't go away. Let's find out about our imposters. Number one, you got 3 wrong votes. What is your real name? What do you do?
My name is Ada Taylor from Atlantic City. I am president of the Taylor Associates. I represent hotels and book conventions and make speeches sometimes. And as a result of this very happy occasion, I have a new title. Spiders outsparkle diamonds as man's best friend.
There, the girl. Number 2, I guess you look too calm in the face of all this. What is your real name? What do you do?
Well, my name is Lucille Paisley. I'm a registered nurse as well as a lyric soprano.
Wild combination. Mrs. Morton, when are your pictures going to be at the Smithsonian Institution? For
Oh,
those
they'll
of us
be
who
at the
don't know?
Smithsonian in '71, but they'll be in New York here at the Museum of Natural History in November.
Uh-huh. Well, now, earlier on, we saw examples of her photographic artistry, and Betsy, I should let you do this spot, really, but I guess it's my turn for us to bring on the spiders. Let's go get them. They're fascinating things. She has little pets with her.
Oh, yeah?
Here, Miss Morton. All right, on the blue marks, the man says. Where are the blue marks? There are the blue marks. Okay, now, which spider are you going to show us first, Mrs.
Well, I
Morton?
think I'll show the little jumping spider first because, well, it's kind of cute and has lots of personality.
Is he likely to get away?
And, well, it might, but it's harmless, so it won't really make any difference.
Oh, it's a harmless spider.
Oh, now.
Just up on the top here, baby.
Yes, up this way.
This is not a poisonous
Well, now.
spider, right?
Now, you know, this one has
Come on,
never
baby,
been
where
on
we can
TV
see it.
before. So,
He's never what?
never been on TV before, naturally.
Baby, get the other way here. Get up here where everybody can see you. That's it.
That's
up where everybody.
good.
No, up where everybody can see you.
Well, you know, this
Well-
really is a jumping spider, so if this one won't perform, let's put another one up. Come on. That's it.
There you go. All right, you want to put him back in the jar, and then we'll get. Whoops.
Well-
Well, that's tricky enough, isn't it? Now, what is the second one you're going to show?
Well, it's a jumping spider carrying her egg sac, and that's really exciting because she carries it on her spinnerets for 14 days until they hatch. And then the baby spiders are the only ones that can't chew their way through out of this egg sac. Let's see. Maybe I can do this better. Like, oh, she lost
For heaven's sake, she dropped the egg sac.
Oh, well, now wait.
Will she
would-
pick it up again?
Well, she would normally, but I don't know what she'll do here.
Well, we're doing this all down in the slot where the cameras can't see it, I'm afraid.
Well, look, let her go on up. Let her go on. She won't.
Can the
Then
camera
she's-
see it?
She's picking it up. Look, she's getting it, and she's putting it back on her body to the spinneret.
We can't see
Well,
it.
look. Well, I
Maybe she'll carry it with her.
Maybe she'll come on
Give
up
her a
like
little,
this.
whatever you call it.
Oh,
There you go. Now, come on up, baby.
well,
No.
that's kind of heavy, you know.
Well, she's kind of upset about her eggs. Just let's
Oh,
let her
well,
sit
let's
on her
let her
eggs.
alone
We'll
and
leave
go
her alone.
down.
What do we got coming up next?
The big
Well-
furry one that ate Sabu over there.
Well, I have a fisher spider, and if it gets away, don't be alarmed. It's all right. It's not poisonous.
It's not poison. Hey there, baby. Hey there, baby. Look.
Well, what?
that- There you go.
Wow.
He's a
Oh.
speed demon.
That's
Well,
fine.
this one's really performing.
Yes, isn't it?
And this one can stay underwater 5 minutes.
Good. I wish you would. Now, what are you showing us?
Well, now the next is the tarantula, a gorgeous spider.
Now, wait a minute. Now, tarantula is not poisonous in spite of all we hear?
None of the tarantulas that are found in the United States are poisonous to man. This one happens to be a Mexican one, but it is not poisonous either.
All right.
Now, to get ready for the show, she shed her skin last week. Oh.
Now, this is the
And
shed skin.
She has a beautiful new dress on.
All right. Here is a Mexican tarantula. Non-poisonous. Yuck, I am told.
Well, that's right. And here she is. Isn't she?
Adorable.
She's just lovely. She's soft
Put her on
like
the
velvet.
thing there. And will
Come on,
she
Beth.
climb?
Yes.
Will she climb?
Look at that.
There you go, baby. Oh, she's yucky, isn't she? Actually, she's kind of pretty. They're beautiful, beautiful soft colors on her.
Let her go on up.
Let her go on up.
Yes. Just keep your hands still.
I guess keep your hands still.
This is real dramatic.
You bet your bippy I'm going to keep my hands still. Come on, baby. Into the thing you go. And a large hand for Mrs. Morton and the imposters and the spiders. you take your time over there, Mrs. Morton. We'll just forge ahead.
Her egg sac, and
She got her eggs back. I'm delighted.
Good.
Well, now, we hear an awful lot these days about the pollution of our environment, and our next guest on the Tell the Truth not only talks about it, but thank heavens is actually doing something about it. We'll hear about that in a few minutes right after these commercials. Now let's meet our cleanup man.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Edgar Grimes.
Number 2,
My name is Edgar Grimes.
number 3,
My name is Edgar Grimes.
All right, and here is Edgar Grimes' story as follows. I, Edgar Grimes, am waging war against litter bugs. I am a dairy farmer, and over the years I have lost $50,000 worth of cattle. They died from eating the trash and the broken bottles that careless passers-by tossed from their cars onto the roadside of my farm. As the machines baled the hay destined for fodder for my cattle, jagged pieces of glass and metal were packed right along with the hay. I made a movie on the problems of littering for students in schools all over the state. I conducted a contest for the high schools to see who can do the best cleanup job. But my major campaign has been directed against the state legislature. After I brought bags of roadside litter to the Capitol and dumped the revolting contents on the table in front of a startled legislative committee, the legal penalties for littering were substantially increased. In my state, a litter bug can now be sentenced to 30 days in jail, a $500 fine, or 5 days of compulsory road work cleaning up litter. Signed, Edgar Grimes. And Kitty, you're a gal who likes causes. You want to start?
Oh, thank you. Bravo, whoever you are. But number 3, let me ask you something. How many people are there? Where do you live in Oregon, by the way?
Number 3?
I live on the Willamette River, near the Willamette River, at a place called Carroll Creek.
Ah, well, number 1, if you lived in New York City and after a parade up Fifth Avenue, you saw the state of Fifth Avenue and the park, and there were maybe 300,000 or 400,000 people involved who all dropped something, where would you find enough police to arrest all these people?
Well, we have to depend upon everybody cooperating once you see the damage that has been done.
Now you've said it, but how do you make the people cooperate, number 2?
Very hard to do. Let's go to Bill Cullen.
Well, number 2, I'll direct it. All of you are wearing armbands. They say LP1, LP2, and LP3. Number 2, what do they stand for?
Well, LP stands for Litter Patrol. The event that we're convicted of littering, the judge may choose to give us a fine or sentence us to a litter patrol.
In other words, there are volunteer. Number 3, are there volunteer members of the litter patrol?
Yes, there are.
Number 1, can I ask you, does a member of the litter patrol, other than an officer, does he have the power to make an arrest?
The officers can be state police or county sheriff or anyone, or anybody else can turn someone in and make a civilian arrest.
Thank you, Bill. That takes us to Betsy.
Number 3, what kind of cattle do you have?
Holstein.
Number 2, what is the name of the cattle that has been combined with the Brahmins from India?
I believe it's the blue gratuitous.
And number 1, what is found in milk after the cows have eaten grass that may have been tainted by fallout?
We don't have fallout in our area. So I do not know.
Number 3, do you know? It could possibly be in the milk. Number 2, where do you come?
Okay, Betsy, thank you, and let's go to Orson.
Number 2, do you feel that no return containers is one of the big reasons for litter, or what?
I believe so, yes.
Number 3, what about the climate of personal irresponsibility that exists? Is that as important as the no return containers and other things?
That's much more important, yes.
It's more important. Well, number 1, do you honestly think that even in Oregon you can change that? I don't ask the question facetiously. Can you change the climate of irresponsibility that seems to abound?
I think so. The state police have arrested 2,000 in the last year, and when you see them walking along the road with these armbands on, it causes other people's attention.
Fear is what will do the trick, in other words.
And a little matter of shame, we should hope. So, Kitty, you get to vote first because we're going to have to vote for number 1, and we're going to have to vote for number 2, or we're going to have to vote for number 3. $50 for each. Wrong vote, 500 if they're all wrong. And, Kitty, have you decided?
Well, number 3 didn't know about strontium 90 and the milk, but I believe he did know, but maybe he forgot. However, I voted for him because he looks like a man with a cause.
So it's 1 for 3 and Bill Cullen.
Well, number 1 knew about the 2,000 people having been arrested for littering. And also, if I ever saw an Oregon cow raiser or rancher, number 1 looks like it. So for that reason, I voted for number 1. He looks like a man who'd do something
There's
about
a vote on each end over there. And Betsy?
Yes. Well, I know it says fast. The sign says fast, so I vote for 1, all right?
All right, and Orson?
I went to Oregon and saw pigs, the finest and biggest pigs in the world. Biggest cows they were. I voted for number 1.
You voted for number 1. All right, we got 3 for 1 and 1 for 3. So will the real Edgar Grimes please stand up? You got it. Colonel, you've been hot this week. Mr. Grimes, let's check your imposters over here. Number 2, what is your real name, sir? What do you do?
My name is John Slusher. I'm a battalion chief in New York City Fire Department, the greatest fire department in the world.
Fire Department. And number 3, you got 1 wrong vote, sir. What is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Lou Stark. I'm a real estate broker.
Good deal. Mr. Grimes, I've been given the bye-bye signal. First of all, let us congratulate you and thank you on behalf of the whole country. You're setting a marvelous example. Gentlemen, thank you, too, for being with us here on To Tell the Truth.
Promotional consideration provided by American Airlines. Traveling on business or traveling for fun, it's good to know you're on American Airlines. This is Johnny Olson speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.
On Game Show Network.